Hiya, so I'm Rebecca Griffith and I'm a senior occupational therapist working in the Medicine of Older People therapy department. So I would say working in UHS, my one word would be teamwork. So my memorable time of working in UHS with occupational therapy is last year we had sort of National Occupational Therapy Day, and I went round with the OTs and we all wore green banners saying Happy OT Day, sort of going around the wards, sharing, sort of promoting our role as OTs and shouting out about how great we are. So here at the UHS, they have lots of resources for wellbeing. So, for example, in the Wellbeing Hub, they've got, which is a new building they've built last year, there's a therapist in one of the therapy teams that has set up a free yoga class, which happens every month. At the end of each month, just a small group of us can go. Anyone can go and attend, and it's really nice. It's just a nice time to de-stress, relax from your day of work. So that's really good. In the morning, we would catch up with our therapy team in our areas. Then we'd go onto the wards and we would have a look at which patients that we need to prioritise for the day, and we'd look at which patients we need to prioritise to try and get home. Those that are medically optimised for discharge, we would prioritise those, and we would start discharge planning, assessing those patients. This would include going to see the patients, checking their mobility. So, for example, we'd work alongside the physiotherapists and we'd assess their mobility, transfers, all of that. Another thing that is part of my job would be looking at patients' equipment and if I need to prescribe any equipment for them to go home safely with. We also work very closely with a discharge officer who also works on the wards, and they will sort of help us with the discharge planning side of things. And then of course we work with the nursing staff as well, and the nurse in charge. We'll sort of liaise with them during the day. Also we would do a board round, which would be middle of the day, we would go through all of the patients on the ward as an MDT and work together with the nurse. Probably a physio will be there, sometimes doctors, and we'd sort of go through what those patients need exactly that day. So the difference between an OT and a physio, so from an OT perspective, when we would assess a patient, we look at more the patient's cognition and function side of things. So, for example, in my area specifically, I work with patients with dementia or patients that could have a delirium. So I would look at their function during the assessment. We might look at how they're doing a particular task, like washing, dressing, that sort of thing, and sort of look at their cognition through function. And then obviously we do sort of equipment prescribing as well. So we would look at ordering sort of equipment for anyone really, but specifically we would help with sort of any fast track discharges, any end of life or palliative patients. We would order sort of hospital beds for and get them set up for home and that sort of thing. My advice would be try and see if you can speak to someone from any of the departments. I'd try and get in contact with maybe one of the managers or something and see if you can sort of get an insight into a bit more about what the sort of job role would entail, looking at kind of what rotations there are, because we've got a wide variety of rotations that OTs can go into here at UHS. For example, when I applied for my job, I was able to contact a member of the therapy department and sort of ask questions and get to know a bit more about the department, which was really, really useful. And also meeting sort of somebody who actually works here was really, really useful.